Hi everyone, welcome to our first practice of embodying your sun salutations. We're going to actually begin on our mat in constructive resting. So I'm hoping that everyone has had a chance at this point to move through a few times, hopefully, some of the preliminary practices that I had sent along. So there was the core stabilization, a little bit of work with the hips, and then the hinging and the folding. So two really key components to the practices that we're going to be moving through. So be really great. I'd say consistently be continuing with those that you'll really notice, I'm sure, a lot of benefit to that as we get going through this. So take your time, come on down to your mat into constructive resting. So down flat onto your back, knees bent, feet planted. So most of the practices that we do are going to be pretty simple, like prop free as far as just having your mat available to you. But I will mention throughout if there's little things that you may need. So one of them would be if you feel tender underneath your hips, you're always welcome to bring like a towel or a cushion or a blanket just to support that. The other thing is having your head supported as well, because really to get comfortable in constructive resting or in Shavasana, the key thing is bringing the floor up to meet you versus kind of just imagining that we can lay down on the floor and it's going to feel really comfortable. I want you to think about how can you bring the floor up to you so that you feel comfortable. So when you lay back, especially actually a thing to show about that is kind of like posture in the neck. If you have sort of a general forward posture in the neck, and then to lay down, there's quite a lot of space here that needs to be filled. So it's okay to bring the floor to your head so that you feel more comfortable, that you're not laying on the floor and the chin's really lifted. So that would be something to notice right now. When you come into constructive resting, how does your head land? Can you lift the head a little bit, tuck the chin, just let it relax from there, and the shoulders relax, and your hands come down comfortably at your side. Just take a moment just to notice that. Maybe wiggle and create a little more space around your shoulder blades. You can kind of wiggle through the hips a little bit and maybe draw them further away from your rib cage, and then just let your low back relax. If it's comfortable with your feet here and it doesn't feel like there's a lot of effort in and around the hips, you can stay there. Other option is always to drop the knees in. The bony structure of the body is going to support that, and just let it fall into a comfortable place. So take a moment to just kind of find that for yourself. And take a full breath in here, and a long, slow exhale. Maybe closing your eyes. Allow yourself to take a moment and just feel where it is the floor is meeting your body. In the back of your head, the shoulders. And as you feel the floor sort of coming up towards your body and meeting you, can your shoulders relax back to meet the floor? The arms and the hands relax at your sides. Always feel free to bring them onto your body if that feels better for you. And this closing of the eyes and landing in this posture be some form of gesture of beginning. And notice if that generates any anticipation of moving forward or what's next. And can we be a little more with this beginning in the space and the fullness of what that means to you? This commitment that you've made to yourself and to this experience. Another few breaths here, full, spacious, and soft. And then when you're ready, just softly opening your eyes. Bringing your hands to your rib cage. And can we find a horizontal breathing pattern here? So nothing kind of like over exaggerated, but just like a soft breath outward into the hands. As if your rib cage were meeting and reaching outward horizontally to meet the palms. This area of the rib cage, the low rib cage where our diaphragm sits below the lungs. Can you visualize as you draw air into the nostrils, into the lungs and chest, that you can feel your diaphragm lower down? Maybe you don't feel it, but you can envision it or imagine it lowering down into the space towards the belly. And then as you exhale, the rib cage you feel kind of knit inward, and the diaphragm, you imagine it moving up just to help push the air out of the lungs. And then can we imagine that happening in the whole 3D, 360 of the torso? So feeling that into the back ribs breathing wide. Feeling this diaphragm lower down. And then exhales, everything kind of gathers and hugs inward, and that diaphragm draws up. Beautiful. It's releasing that. So we've talked a little bit in those preliminary exercises in stabilizing the core. Let's take a moment to just actually find a little bit of ease and softening through the core. So coming down to your right side, kind of like the lower tip of your ribs, and just start to kind of poke around there a little bit. It might be kind of tender. So we're going to just kind of hook the fingertips under the low rib cage there. Soften the belly. You're going to take your inhale out into the ribs. And then as you exhale, can you just kind of gently hook those fingertips underneath the rib cage? Inhale, get spacious and relaxed. Exhale, you kind of dig the fingertips, and we'll start to creep up the outer edge of the ribs. So moving up towards the very center point where the rib cage meets. So full breath in. And then exhale, just kind of poking and hooking, as if kind of just releasing, massaging some of the tension that may present itself in the diaphragm. Maybe tender on the right side, springtime, time for our liver to do lots of regenerating. It can feel kind of tender, just be mindful of that. I'm just trying to soften. Maybe you're at about the midway point where the rib cage starts to move towards the left side. Just take your time, slow deep breaths in, and exhale as you kind of hook those fingertips underneath the ribs. Just undoing a little bit of any bracing maybe that we've established or habitually created in the body. Any guarding or habitual tension. So inhaling, everything expands. Exhale, just a gentle hook of the fingertips underneath the rib cage, moving down the left side. Amazing. So just finishing that off there. When you're done, just resting your hands again on your rib cage, or if it's more comfortable, at your side. And just breathing into the fullness. Noticing if that feels a little more spacious, even just from those few moments of that. Excellent. And then bringing your fingertips towards your hip bones, your pelvis area. And if we were to imagine that there's like a rolling pin through here, and you're going to arch and so tuck and tilt your tailbone. So you're sending your pubic bone away from you, and then you're drawing your pubic bone towards you. This tucking and moving. And notice, does it feel like a lot of that's happening in the waist area? Can you bring it down? It's pretty subtle movement right into just the pelvis. See if we can really stabilize almost through the upper region where we just were, but you're just moving from pelvis. Tucking and tilting. Beautiful. The next time that you feel like you're tucked, might feel like you're pressing your low back down into the mat. Can you come down to the sensation in your heels? Press a little deeper into the heels, lift your toes, and press into the balls of your feet. Spread the toes, let them rest down. Notice that you can still breathe here. You've got this tuck, this engaging. Let's bring the hands down to the bum. Just rest them there. And then start to lift your hips up as you drive some energy down into the heels. And then notice that the bum muscles are engaged. So you have your hands there. So you're not squeezing, but you're just engaging. And then send your pelvis in the direction of your knees. Find length through the sides of your body from your rib cage to your pelvis. Just pressing down here, just warming up a little bit of the back body. Opening up the front of the hips. Take a full breath here. And then slowly lower your spine, one vertebrae at a time, down to the mat. And then let your pelvis just relax when you get down there. Beautiful. We're going to do that one more time. So find that tuck to just the tailbone, the pelvis is kind of tilting. Drive some energy down into the heels to lift your hips up. Send the hips in the direction of the knees. Just a very gentle kind of lifting and even a back bend here, but we're just sort of warming into the back space of the body. And then take your time, lower that spine all the way back down. Beautiful. Step your feet wide. Arms wide, just start to windshield wiper the knees from side to side. So the first posture that we're going to be focusing on today is mountain posture, so Tadasana, so standing on our 2 feet. So extend your legs out here on your mat, away from your body, and then just have them as if you were standing on the floor, so toes towards the sky. It might feel like you're drawing the backs of your legs towards the floor, so you might feel a little more contact with your calf muscles or the backs of your hamstrings, and this lengthening to the front of the body. Notice that that feels kind of challenging to just like lengthen. Does it feel like there's anything happening in your low back? So just starting to just kind of recognize, be aware. Does it feel like you're standing on the floor? Let's take the arms and reach them up overhead. Make lots of space actually between your hands. So like a nice wide V shape here. And just take a moment to observe when you're here. Can you tuck your chin just a little bit? Maybe rock on the back of your head. Feel a little bit of extension and reach through your fingertips. So the hands are fairly active. They may not be like resting right down on the ground. They might be slightly lifted away. So make as much space as you need to for the shoulders to reach down and back towards the floor. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. It might feel like the slightest tuck to your chin. Do you feel your back rib cage meeting the floor, or does it feel like your front rib cage are lifting towards the sky? If that's happening, can you gently draw your front rib cage towards the back body? It's not a flattening of the curves of your back, but it's just avoiding any big back bend here. So you're just hugging those front ribs just slightly towards your back body. That's going to feel like effort, and your legs are probably still working because you're reaching through the heels, spreading the toes, and imagine that you could dig your big toe mound down into the floor, and that you could even press the outer edges of your heels into the floor, like you were standing on them here. So lots of engaging and reaching. So feeling this engagement and effort here, this pressing down through the feet, reaching through the legs. Feel this sensation of reaching the leg bones out and away from the pelvis, the very midsection. And then reaching the upper body away from the pelvis. Find length to your chin. I find I do have to tuck mine a few times to find the length of the back of my neck. And then can you find a few breaths here? Beautiful. Let's stay engaged here for just another moment. We're going to just start to press through the left foot. Imagine that you were going to lift your right foot off the floor. So you're going to slide your heel up the mat. Slide it up the mat. Lift it off. It just gently lifts off the mat. And then touch it back down to the mat and slide it back down. Standing on that imaginary floor, lengthen through the body. We'll do that with the left, bending the knee, sliding the heel, and then lift the heel. Drop the heel back down, slide through the leg. Amazing. Reach, and then just let that relax. Let the heels or the feet fall out to the side. Let the arms just drape heavy around your body here. Just notice any of the sensations that you feel. And then step your right foot over to the furthest edge of your mat. Cross your left leg over that ankle. Reach your arms up overhead. Grab for your left wrist. And then kind of scoot your shoulders over to the right side. You're creating like a banana shape or a half moon. And again, just if the rib cage is really flaring up, just mindfully draw that back, kind of hugging it and knitting it towards the floor. Maybe you pull your left shoulder back and kind of down towards the mat. Just do something here that feels pretty good and kind of spacious. And then release from that. And take it to the other side. Left heel reaches, right ankle crosses, and then over to your left side. Grabbing for the right wrist. Nice full breath into that right side. Beautiful. Come on back through center. Bending through your knees again and rolling over to your right side. Okay, so resting here, stacking the knees, stacking the hips, stacking the shoulders. Extend the right arm out in front of you. Left hand comes on top. We're just going to do a little bit of rotation through the spine. So slide the hand towards you, across your chest, and reach back behind you. Might feel like a nice chest opening. A little bit of a rotation through the ribs. Reach that arm up and over towards your right again. And go a little bit beyond your fingertips as you reach. Drop back towards you. And open up towards the other side. Big full breath here. Take that left hand, bring it to your left rib cage. Take a breath there into your hands. And release that. And then we'll just roll right over to your other side. Stacking knees, stacking hips. Let hands reach out in front of you. Right arm slides across your left, across your chest, and reaches back behind you. Notice the variations from side to side. How does that feel? Reach your right arm up and over beyond your left fingertips. Slide it back towards you, across your chest, and reach back behind you. Bring that right hand to your rib cage. Take a breath there into your hand. And release from that. Take your time. We're just going to come all the way up here. So just from your side, pressing to come up. We're going to come all the way up to standing. So just take your time to come there. When you come into standing, can you just take a moment, spread your toes, and just kind of rock around a little bit on your ankles and your toes, the balls of your feet. Just like wiggle around, do what you need to, from side to side. Heels and toes, maybe your heels lift and your toes lift. Just getting some sensation into the soles of the feet. So this first week, that what we're going to be doing is kind of really just getting into the form of most of the postures, okay? So working with mountain posture today, an extended mountain. So find about hip distance-ish. Your toes can be slightly pointed out. You may be a little bit beyond hip distance, but I'm going to say maybe for this, let's not go feet together, okay? So just find that comfortable place. And then take a moment and just pull your hips back, okay? So pull your hips back like you're going to sit into that chair. Look down. You can see your feet here. Can you lift your toes and dig into that big toe mound? Let your toes come down. And then bring your hands to your thighs and press your hands out, or your hands into your thighs and your thighs out into your hands. So being aware here from those preliminary practices of this nice long spine. So the tailbone's reaching back behind you, shoulders are rolling back and down. So a little bit of engaging here. Okay. And then press a little more to the outer edges of your heels, staying heavy in the big toe mound. Lots of activity in the legs, I'm sure, here. All right. And then keep that, maintain that, let the hands relax. As if you're pressing down through the feet, press down and come on up to standing. Hopefully you're feeling that all the way up into the legs and upper body. Let's take a moment, hands at your side, palms just gently facing forward. Kind of similar to where we were on our back. Maybe close your eyes and imagine that you were leaning still against the floor. The floor is supporting you, or as if you were even leaning against a wall. So don't necessarily lean into it. Stay heavy in your toes and big toe mound, the outer edges of your heels. And just soften the knees and the hips, and the shoulders. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. When you're ready, inhale, bringing your palms straight out to your side and up towards the sky. And then pause at about the height of your shoulders. So hands are just reaching out like you've created this T shape with your body. And then can you hug the thumbs back behind you and you get the sense of opening across the chest and maybe a little bit of a squeeze of the shoulder blades. And then send your tailbone down towards the floor. It's not a tuck, but you're sending the tailbone, or that sense of drawing the upper rib cage, hugging and knitting that in. Okay. Then we're going to turn the palms down. Feel your shoulders roll forward. And we're going to bend the knees a little bit as you pull the hips back. And then inhale, rise up as you press down. Roll the palms up towards the sky. And we'll lift the chest a little bit here, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Exhale, round and move into that. Inhale, rise. Exhale, round. So a little bit of bending the knees, rotating, warming up through the shoulders, through the chest. Maybe the chin tucks a little bit and chin lifts. And then next time you're up tall and the palms are towards the sky, pausing here for a moment, lengthen through the crown of your head. Feel active as you're rooting down through the legs and through the feet. And then draw your fingertips up towards the sky as if you were drawing them to meet each other. Maybe you bend your elbows and let your fingertips touch. So this proprioceptive awareness, locating your fingertips to touch above you here. And then finding some space like you did on the floor. And then find the length. So you're not decreasing or taking away the curves of your back, but you're just finding natural curves. Reaching through as if you could reach all the way from the sides of your body, from your hips up towards the sky. This extended mountain. Beautiful. Maybe close your eyes and just feel yourself taking up space here. So often maybe you have heard this saying that we are humans having a spiritual experience. I don't think I'm saying that right. Oh my goodness. But where I was leading with that is that it's like at times we're this conduit between heaven, between the skies, between the ethers, the unknown, and then this dense physical reality of earth. So feeling that gravity pull you down, feel heavy through the legs, through the body. But then there's this kind of desire to reach up in a way, to grow, to expand, to be bigger, better versions of ourselves in every moment. Bring the fingertips together above you. Bend the elbows slightly to find that. Exhale, bring your hands down to your heart center. Just take a moment here. Maybe you feel some sensation in your shoulders. Let them relax. Spiritual beings having a human experience. Honoring that. Let's take a full breath in as you reach the arms down at your side, up overhead, up towards the sky. Exhale, press the palms back behind you. Hinge at your hips just a little bit and touch your fingertips behind you. Maybe you touch them, but maybe it's actually more of a reach. Let's do a bit of a reach. Roll the shoulder blades back. Press through the feet. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, press back. So fingertips are going to press back behind us, that nice long spine. You can bend the elbows, draw the shoulders back, stay fairly open through the heart. Press down, inhale, rise up. Fingertips touch. Exhale, bring them back behind you. So if you like that, anchoring down, be really intentional with this. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, rising up. Exhale this time as you press the hands back behind you. We're going to fold at your hips and find a nice long spine here. So as if you're making a 90-degree angle with your body. So press the hands into the thighs and reach your hips and tailbone, sits bones back behind you. Find maybe a little wiggle there. Roll the shoulders back, lengthen through the crown of your head. When you're ready, come to a forward fold. Round your spine, bend your knees, let that go. Let's inhale, lift and lengthen again through the spine. So maybe a soft bend, roll the shoulders back, hands to upper thighs, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, come on back down into that. Few more like that, just in your pace. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Let's take a pause here for a moment. Notice that your shoulders are rolling back and relaxed, and the length is there through the back of your neck. Can you bring your hands to your rib cage? So there's going to be some activation because the belly is always going to engage when to support us. So especially as we fold forward here. So do what you need to in your legs. If you need to bend the knees a little bit, imagine you could lift your tailbone just slightly, a little bit more to the sky. And can you take a few full breaths into your rib cage here? So there's this bracing or this engaging, but yet we're not bracing. We can still breathe into spaciousness. Can you bring your hands to your low back, the backs of your hands perhaps, and then create an arch to your back as if you were doing cat and cow. Slide your hands more towards the back of your pelvis, and then tuck your pelvis and puff up and round through your back. This drawing in of the belly. And then lift your hands towards the sky with the pelvis. Your hands are not losing contact with your body. So it's like a cat and cow here. But I really want you to be mindful of the movement in the pelvis. That's why we have our hands here. A few more like that. And then when you're ready, just allow yourself to come right down into a forward fold. Let everything relax. Take your time. We're going to rise up to standing whatever way is best for you, whether that's long spine or a relaxed, rounded spine as you lengthen up. Hands all the way up, and then hands to heart with your exhale. Beautiful. Let's inhale, rise the palms up again to extended mountain, finding nice shape here. And then can you turn the palms to face towards each other? Reach back through the thumbs. A little bit of drawing the shoulder blades together here. Bring a little bit more weight into your left foot. We're going to bring the right knee to lift. And then slide it back down to land. Can we minimize a lot of the rocking or as much movement in the body as you can? Imagine that you're sliding the heel just like you did up the mat and then bringing it towards your body. Left foot comes down. Do that one more time on each side. Just really slowly lifting and lowering. Sliding that back down. Beautiful. Come all the way to a forward fold again. Soft bend in those knees. Release the head and neck. Take a few breaths here. When you're ready, start to spread your feet a little bit wider, maybe right off your mat. Bring your hips back, lift your chest, elbows to the thighs. So a nice wide squat here, just a little bit of moving around from side to side. Bring hands to the thighs and knees and lift up a little bit here. Okay, we're going to, so toes are pointed out, knees are pointed out. Just let yourself roll just slightly on your inner arch of your right foot and bring your knee inward. Not tweaking the knee in, so the knee and the foot just roll in a little bit together. And then press that back out. Do that on your left side. So you're rolling in a little bit, press the leg back out. Do that one more time on each side. Nice. Find cat and cow, tuck and tilt your pelvis, a little bit of movement in your low back. I do find helpful here to come up a little bit and bring my hands to my tailbone and my pubic bone area, just to feel that out. Nice. Come into a forward fold from here. So adjust your feet and your legs so that feels comfortable. Maybe sway from side to side. Maybe you grab for opposite elbows. Let your head relax. And bring your hands down to the floor in front of you. Bend your knees. Take your time to come down towards the floor. Swing the feet around. Coming back down to constructive resting. Planting through your feet, landing through your hips, the heaviness of the head, the shoulders. Hands anywhere that's comfortable on your body. Taking a few breaths here. Allowing the floor to meet your body, inviting your body to meet the floor. Start to slide your right heel away from you, lengthening that leg out. Let the foot fall out to the side. that causes any discomfort for your back, just bring that foot back to plant. Even with the foot falling out to the side and the angle it's in, slide your heel back towards your body. The knee might be out towards the right a little, and then plant through that foot. Let the pelvis adjust. Extend your left heel and let the leg relax. If this feels okay for your low back, stay here. If there's any little bit of kind of burning or tension or anything, you just bring your knees back, the left back to bend, or extend your right, same way, just lengthen the heel out, coming into your Shavasana. Hands can be anywhere on your body or alongside your body. Let your feet just fall softly and heavily out to the side. Take a breath into the backs of your knees. And breath into your hips. Down into the pelvic floor. Wide into the ribs. Notice if your mind's drifting or wandering. Can you bring it back into the softness of your belly, your breath? The fullness of your inhale. And the emptiness of the exhale. Sound of the rain. Feeling the bones of the body resting heavy to the surface beneath you. Feeling the spaciousness of the breath, the aliveness of the breath. Bringing your hands now to your rib cage, or to the meeting point of the rib cage, your solar plexus, your diaphragm. In the chakra system, we would call this the Manipura chakra, the lustrous gem. And the color is yellow. Taking a moment just to breathe into the spaciousness, the aliveness, and the brightness of this area of your body, allowing that yellow, that sensation of aliveness to spread throughout your arms, your legs, down to your toes, to the very tip of your head. Just taking a moment to recognize what feels alive in you right now. Maybe that's a thought or a project, a sensation, an experience. What is it that feels most alive in you right now? Bringing one hand now to your heart. Feeling the body breathing into the hands. Finding a soft smile to your eyes, to your mouth. Start to find little movements to your fingers, to your toes. Maybe taking a moment to just begin reaching your arms up overhead, lengthening your legs away if that feels comfortable. Just finding a nice big reach through your body, turning and circling your wrists and your ankles. That was beautiful timing on our rain showers here for our Shavasana. Take a nice big stretch. And when you're ready, hug your knees into your body. Maybe rocking from side to side on your low back. Take your time to roll over to your side. Come on up to sitting. And when I say come up to sitting, just know throughout our practices you're welcome to come into any form of sitting, whether that's even being on a chair with your legs in front of you, out to your side, or sitting on your shin, just anywhere that offers you a sense of stable rootedness and length to your spine. Take a moment, just find this slight tuck to your chin as you lengthen up through the crown of your head, and bring your hands together at your heart center. Maybe closing the eyes. And can this gesture, this posture, be in recognition for this journey? An honoring of yourself, your gifts, your aliveness, and all that you bring to the world, to this experience. Finding a soft smile to your eyes, to your lips. And blinking the eyes open. Thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste.